We have a sudden cluster of the earthquakes concentrated in a tiny area in the Reykjanes Peninsula of Iceland. That is in the area of the Keilir, is a prominent hill. And that hill has been very close to the Little Korto and the Fagradalsfjall in the past when we expected the eruption happen there. We are seeing the depth of the earthquakes, as you can see here. These are recent. And this is the depth of them, quite close to the surface sometimes. And this is the magnitude of them. They are not very strong earthquakes. When we plot them based on that data, the three-dimensional model of them looks like this. Something rising from the depth of the 6 to 3, even to 2 kilometers. And the tiny amounts of the earthquakes, we can see those tinier circle, probably is due to the rising of the magma between the cracks, where we call as dikes and sills, rising up near the surface. It is because that area of the Reykjanes Peninsula between the Eurasian Americas is being pulled apart by the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. This is the oceanic ridge where the earth crust is cracked and is opening up in this fashion that you see in this animation. And eruption happens through these cracks in a gentle way. We don't see them usually. They're at the depth of the sea. In Iceland, we see them because this extension fault happens on the land and eruptions happen. We had 6 eruptions just this year on that area and 3 before that in the Fagradalsfjall area. And they are like a chain reaction extending, historically we have seen this, from the Reykjanes to the north of the Iceland. I have previously made several videos about the locations and the discussion of these earthquakes. Please watch them. They may answer some of the questions you already have. Where is Keilir volcano? This is a volcano which is now in the news because there are a lot of tremors there. We can see from the Fagradalsfjall Valley, from the meridional part of that section. This is the volcano almost at the center, and where a lot of earthquakes are happening. I'll mark it with the arrow so we can see that. That's the one. And this is related to the same fault line system, Rift Valley system that we have in the Fagradalsfjall. I'll draw the fault lines in the Meridional Valley, and then the back one is from the system in the Keilir, and the yellow line shows the break between them, and the direction of movement is the blue arrow. Again, in this Google Earth image, I marked the Keilir volcano, I marked the Fagradalsfjall volcano fault lines, displacement, and the direction of displacement in blue. Sorry. And in the Keilir, you can see that the same fault lines happening. They are fresher and newer. And the fault lines and direction of fault line. This is the area that we have a lot of earthquakes. It's quite possible that we have an earthquake there and a volcano follows by that. Today, early in the morning, when it was dark, we had an earthquake. This is separate from the earthquake that we had in the Svartsengi area and the Grindavik area. That was keeping us busy all over the last month. And we had to change the hazard level. This one was near the Keilir, east-southeast of it, 4.4 kilometers away. And that coincides on the map with somewhere between that glacial lake and the Fagradalsfjall. This is where the plates are falling down and the blocks of the rock falling down. The plates are moving away, extending, and creating these kind of fault lines. But to accommodate this movement of these fault lines, you have to have transfer faults, and also up the other sides of the peninsula, you have to have this accommodation of the movement. This is how I see it. We have extension, then we have transform, we have extension, then we have transform. These are transform faults, and we have extension and transform faults. This is what we connect these two Svartsengi with the other geothermal station up near the Reykjavik, to the east of the Reykjavik. And that's how I see they're related to the Keilir and how these movements are accommodated through these transform and extension fault lines.